Hi, it's Deb Schreiber. I'm checking in video journal number 2. I just want to cover some of the things that we've covered over the past few weeks. Reward systems. I'm torn on reward systems. I don't know exactly if they're good or bad. For my kids, they're good. But for people here at work, we have an attendance bonus and it encourages them to come every day. There are no excuses if they are late, if they have a doctor's excuse, it doesn't matter. They don't get the reward. Um, the good thing is everybody comes to work. The bad thing is they come to work sick. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's got its good part and it's got its bad part, as with any reward system, I'm sure. Um, Different kinds of training, synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous training I've had a few times here um, for payroll at ADP. I've done some synchronous training. Instead of leaving the plant and going to their facility and taking the training for 2 days, I chose to do it via synchronous online. And it was nice not to have to leave, have to lose all this time here at work and just set aside a few hours each time. On the bad part, there's always an emergency, there's always an interruption. There's people who they can't wait, they know you're here, and they think that you can just pause it and get back to it when they're done with their emergency. So I I'm not crazy about synchronous training. It's restrictive. You have to be online at a certain time. You don't get choices. It's like a real classroom. Asynchronous training, like we do for Bowling Green, has worked out great for me. That's the kind of training when you can go in and you can listen to, for example, Corey's presentations and lectures. We can go in and we can listen to those at our convenience when time allows for us to do it, when we set aside time for this. So I prefer the asynchronous training, and that's kind of how my capstone project's going to be. It's going to be a PowerPoint, and I'm trying to set it up on a PB Wiki and get that going so that the employees will be able to go to the kiosk that is set aside for them, and in their spare time they can click on that and just go through the training or the presentation. And new employees, when they come in, I can sit them down and just let them go through that. I also have a presentation for our insurance that came with the anthem. So that's something that I like to email out to them when it's time for their benefits to kick in. The adult learner. Speaking as an adult learner, I feel that I have full responsibility for my learning. I have to do it. I have to set aside the time. I have to find the time. And I have to be successful. It is my responsibility. Instructional design. We in my facility, we do a lot of instructional design. We have to sit down. We have to decide who's going to be the learner. What are their needs? What is their environment? For example, the engineers we can do sitting in a conference room. But what about the guys out on the floor who are actually running machines and they need training on the machines? Sitting down in a classroom type setting is not going to work for them. We need to do hands-on training, but we also need to keep in mind that they can't really hear what you're saying because it's loud out there. So you have to take all of that information and decide what is best. Evaluations. The evaluations, summative evaluations at the end, I find those to be rather vague and not very informational. Someone suggested that you wait a week after the training and send out email to all of the participants and get their feedback at that point. I think that's a great idea because after a week you've been sitting there and you've been stewing about it. You've thought about what was so great about that training and what wasn't so great about that training, what could be improved, and then you can give some honest feedback. Right now, I am sitting through OSHA training seminars. I've been through 2 days worth already, and I've got 2 days this week, and they are very informational, yet it is a lot of information and a lot of hours just sitting there listening to somebody speak about something that they are very passionate about, and it's very important, but it's a long day. So at the end of the day, when they hand out these evaluations, how was the trainer? Was the trainer well informed? Was the information what you expected it to be? Was the facility appropriate for the training? At that point, I just want to go. So I'm circling yes, 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 yes. And unless I'm really upset about it, then I'll go as low as I can with it. But I don't think they get much. The trainers don't get much out of that evaluation, in my opinion. Um, Formative before and during the training, as you're getting it set up, I think those would be great. You can get feedback from people as you're doing the training, and keep improving on the training. So that's also a good plan. The groups that we've been in, I've had some problems, just not in just this class, but any class since I've been an online student, is making the time and finding the time to meet with the other adult learners who have different time zones, different work schedules, different lives. Just everything in general is just different, and that's why we are all online learners and doing our learning at our own pace, at our own schedules. Like I said before, some nights I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning doing my homework. Other nights I'm doing it while I'm at work. So it's really hard to say what each day is going to bring for me. So I'm really trying with that, and it's been hard for everybody, I'm sure. So going forward, I'm working on my capstone project, and I can't wait to see everybody else's journals. Thank you.